Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to a mainly hazy and pretty quiet morning down here for a Friday. So, we're looking for an exciting day. We're looking for an exciting day. So, things we're going to start to hit on this morning is the bathroom wall, closing in that bathroom wall, getting those boards planed down, everything kind of fit in there as best we can. And then we're going to move on to one of the other 50 things we have to do here to cabin 3. And so to help that out, I've been down here a little early this morning, really just kind of setting up my workstation. Things were a little out of sorts before with where I had things set up and having to go up the hill to get wood, bring it down, plane it over here, use the chop saw over here. And then, so I really just kind of organized, trying to streamline the process here, just, to help the flow of things. Now that I'm really just working solely on cabin number 3 right now, I can consolidate and kind of set things up in a more, permanent fashion. Certainly, obviously, none of this stuff is going to be here once, I'm done working, obviously. But for right now, this seems to be, somewhat of a decent plan. We'll see how it goes today. But I need to finish up that bathroom wall. It's kind of back in there, hiding a little bit. Yeah, right back in there. So, yeah, well, let's get it. Well, pretty good work on the wall here this morning. Everything lined up really nice. Again, a lot of this stuff, this area here above that corner there, you're not going to see. That's going to be under the ceiling. But yeah, everything wound up really nice. I really like the way this turns out. Then here in the corner, last board has what, 1, 2, 3, 4 different cuts. I gotta take some out for that rafter that's up there. This 4x4, and then the nailer across here, and then of course the bottom has a nailer there as well. So all that's got to be accounted for. So I cut those out. That's that last part you saw me cutting with the jigsaw, and yeah, it fits in there just right here. This here, I'm not sure what this shows up like on your screen, but that's actually bark there. That's not a big gap. That's just some weighing on the board there. I always try and add a little bit of that kind of throughout the cabin. I really think it adds that more rustic feel to it. All right, well, it's lunchtime, and so we got to figure out what's next. All right, so what I'm going to do here now, because I want to work towards getting the electrical kind of more finished so I can turn some power on here inside the building, I'm going to install this switch box here. This is the 2 switches that are going to be here. One is for the vent fan in the bathroom. The other is for the fan, the ceiling fan in the middle of the room. But I also have, so I have power coming in, and then I also have my fire alarm, which is right above you. So that's a 14-2 line. So that is also coming into this box. So I'll have 4 wires coming into this box. And with the fan switch, the fan switches are very wide and they're very deep. So they take up a lot of space within this box. So I have to kind of organize my box efficiently in order to better use the space. But I like the way I mounted the box on the front switch in cabin 1. So I'm going to do it pretty much the same way. I'm going to drill 2 holes, and then I'm going to have to take my jigsaw and square them out so that the brackets or the clamps will fit into those holes, and then I'll still have plenty of space to properly secure the box to the wall. So that's what we're working on. Well, as is the story kind of lately, my battery ran out, so I wasn't able to really show you kind of how I finished things up here. So I got this box all wired up. It's all set and ready to go. And of course, I showed you the wall already. Wall already is done. And I have started to, well, let me finish up with this here. So once I finish that with that box there, I wanted to get out and I wanted to hook up the power to the cabin. So I spent some time hooking up the power lines to the cabin from the main supply panel right over there, and you know, everything went fine and everything. So I now have power directly into the cabin. So generally all I'm going to use now, at least inside the cabin as far as power goes, is going to be my outlet boxes, the 4 that are around the base of the main part of the cabin. So I just have my light, my overhead light right now hooked up down here to it. So you know, I'm not drawing, you know, much of anything in here now, but that's going to be super helpful for, you know, as things move forward, especially here once I start putting in my planks for my ceiling and, you know, just everything like that. So once that was done, I have a little time here at the end of the day. I needed to pick away at a little project. So I cleaned up a little bit. I store some of my tools up at the top here, but I started to work on making space, I guess you could say, getting my door height up to 78 inches. And so I've got a little demolition to do, and little bit of demolition, a little bit of let's see what happens next type thing. So I already did this part on cabin 1, so I kind of know what I'm getting into. I just still don't have a good way for this 4x4 that's right here. I've got to take 2 inches out of that. So cutting through a 4x4, I mean, I could use my Sawzall, but that of course does not make the nicest cut, you know, and this is most likely going to be an exposed area, and I don't want to take up, you know, you say, well, use a different saw or just put some trim under there when you're done. But I don't want to, I want to take as little away from this 4x4 as I can to get up to that 78. So I need a working finish on that cut that I'm going to make. So yeah, it'll probably end up being the Sawzall, but it might be a little jigsaw thrown in there, might be some circular saw. You know, I didn't have a great answer for cabin 1. It got done, so it's going to get done here as well. So, you know, it's one of those things I'm going to scrap around with. So as you can see, you know, I've got to cut down these boards that come across through here and, you know, hollow that section out because I need that 78 inches to go out there above the entryway. So and we got a pretty good start on getting this part of the job done. I used my oscillating tool there, cutting these boards coming across here. It works really well. They have a hardwood bit for it that really just eats that wood up. I realized, I mean, I could have used my Sawzall. Again, it doesn't make great cuts, you know, straight lines and things like that. Or, you know, a circular saw, I guess I could have thrown up in there. But I did have this wire that was coming through here. I obviously stayed away from that, but, you know, I just try and do the best I can, and that tool seemed to work pretty well for me. It has in the past, and with that new, like, hardwood bit, it really chews through the wood quick. So we'll get out here tomorrow. We got a couple more smaller pieces right here that have got to come off. I've got this is like a 2x4, but this goes the entire width of the building, and then there's some 1x material here. Again, that's going to be cut straight up and pulled off. This probably goes the width of the building as well. So these two will come off, and then all that'll be left will be the 4x4 that spans obviously left to right. So we'll start chipping away at that tomorrow. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for today. I'm pretty happy with the progress I made today. Just kind of looking around at the mess I got to clean up a little bit. I was glad really to get that stuff around the bathroom done. Getting the boards from up the hill down here, sizing them up, planing them, kind of shaving them a little bit to fit, you know, a little better, because some of them certainly are warped a little bit. So, you know, that's just a process that just takes a while, and, you know, it is what it is. And, you know, let's just say I'm glad to have kind of that part done with it. Glad to be moving on to this as well. That's pretty exciting. I still have to trim out the windows here on the outside. Funny story, I don't know where the sill nose is for these windows. I've got to find it. I know it's here, but I can't remember where it is. It's been a while since I've worked on the windows over there at cabin 1. And somewhere down here, or I should say on the property, is some sill nose for these windows here at cabin 3. I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right, guys, it's Friday. Go have a good weekend. We'll see you on the next one.